headmaster, Dr. Dirk, explained way too many rules. All of the Belton freshmen were there, along with a handful of teachers. Anthony checked out their faces. Aside from a few Asians and one kid who looked Indian, he was adrift in a Caucasian sea. And then he heard it. Someone laughed from the corner of the room. It sounded familiar to Anthony, like school assemblies at MLK. That was the middle school he used to go to. When his eyes adjusted and he saw the two black kids, he felt like yelling out. On stage, the headmaster reminded them of a freshman camping trip. Then he dismissed them to their dorms. Anthony found the two boys. The tall one was Paul and the chubby one was Khalid. Both of them were from Brooklyn, but they had only met that morning. Paul seemed cool, but Anthony wasn't so sure about Khalid. He talked too fast and never looked Anthony in the eye. Inside the dorm, there was another meeting, this time with Mr. Hawley, an English teacher who was in charge of their floor. The man smiled a lot, but also laid down the law, sometimes reading directly from the student handbook. The boys had cleaning jobs that rotated every Sunday, plus they had morning room inspections and supervised study hall every weeknight. There were rules about bedtime and when to be awake. Girls weren't allowed to visit their rooms except for unsupervised occasions, and no one could leave campus before signing out with Mr. Hawley or another adult first. So much for all the prep school freedom Anthony had imagined. The regulations made him miss his mother's grocery list. His mother used to make him go to the store. An hour later, he was lying in the darkness staring at the ceiling while his roommate slept soundly in the bunk underneath. Anthony suspected that the other boys on the floor were sleeping too, but he couldn't keep his eyes closed. How far had he traveled in just one day? Someone had put Belton sucks in glow-in-the-dark letters on the ceiling, along with a bunch of little stick-on stars that formed an obscene constellation. It was supposed to be funny, but the cosmic blowjob only made Anthony uncomfortable. He peered outside, but everything was pitch black. There weren't any street lights and no passing cars. He had never felt so out of place.